Are you tired of your training being stuck in the past? Want to modernize your approach without straying from the methodology that started it all? Sentinel Training is for you.
Do you want to improve your training and reach your fittest potential? Well, what are you waiting for? Start your free trial today.
Sentinel Training is varied and fun. Keeps you on track even if you won't run. Taylor and Bryson work so hard you can tell. They even have ebooks for in a hotel.
No more gimmicks, no more out-of-date and tired ideas. The year is 2025. Start training like it. Sentinel Training. Evolve or get left behind.
Shock. Monday's late. Who was it? Was it Hobart said, oh, that's a really good ad. Bit long though. Fuck you, man. It's a fine length. Here we go.
I can't hear you.
Can you actually not hear me?
Wait, I have to go out again.
Oh my God. This is...
Shit. How do I leave this?
How about I just boot you? Great prediction, Matt. Evening champions, evening Ernie. What's Monday? Who's Monday? Where is Monday? Why is Monday? Finish that Coca-Cola. Yeah. Almost spam. Hello, not James Hobart. Hello, Slater. Did CrossFit sell? No. That was a great advert though that they put up. Will I be able to? Maybe I could play that. Was he back? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Great. I can.
See, I even set up.
Have you seen this?
today.
Jesus, that's gone way too big. Have you seen this advert?
No.
Oh, the CrossFit advert.
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, hang on. I'll show you. And you can give me your reaction.
Is it for Coca-Cola?
No, it's not for Coca-Cola. If I go full screen, oh, isn't that good? Tell me if you can hear it.
I like already the caption.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I think so.
You could hear it, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. You didn't play it.
How long are you going to listen to a society that tells you that there's an easy way? Listen to me. There is no quick fix. They're telling us it's a pill. It's an injection. It's this, it's that. No, it's hard work. Your future health is based on the decision you make today. You don't have to be the quickest, the strongest. You just need to take charge. Yes, optimal health can be a reality. Yes. It's yours, but you got to get up and you got to go get it. It's yours, but you got to put in the work. It's yours, but you got to grind. All it takes is you making a decision right now, because practice makes permanent.
Yeah, that's fucking cool, man.
Isn't it? The eagle-eyed amongst you may have spotted Johnny Davies from our affiliate series. That's him.
Yeah.
Most people probably didn't even notice there was anybody else in the video because he was in it.
The only thing they could have done a bit better background music. I like I love the guy's voice.
I kind of liked it. I kind of liked that it was steadily climbing up. I kind of like that.
I think it could be, well, it's a very small detail to it, but this is probably the best ad since 2000, I don't know, 15, 16.
Whose voice is that? That's Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Your future health is based on...
Oh, no, it's not. I don't know who it is. Someone said, is it Chuck? It should be Chuck.
But the voice, I don't know, but that kind of voice, I have seen a lot of motivation videos on like YouTube, like even old ones. I remember I had one in 2015 I always watched before competing. It was not about CrossFit, but it was also like a guy like this speaking, and always fired me up.
Sounds like E.T., Eric Thomas, the motivational speaker, not to be confused with Phone Home. That'd be a very different commercial. Now, if we can do 7 into 10s, we can just start going back. This is just, all it is just a step in the right direction. That's all it is. but it's what we've all been
But
called.
okay, but I have a question now. Are they like trying to
It's
do that
Get
to
up and you gotta go get it. It's yours,
like
but
let's
you
fix
gotta
it
put in the
before
work.
we sell
It's
it, or they
yours,
are
but you
like
gotta grind.
let's
To be
try
honest,
to fix it so we
It's
can rise the
you
price
making
again
that
and then
decision
resell
right
it, or
now.
what's it like? What's
the
the idea
impression
behind
the impression I get is I'll just freeze it on Johnny because why not? The impression I get is it's probably twofold. I'm guessing this is just pure surmising or whatever, but I'm guessing that if I'm working for CrossFit and I'm in the media or advertising department or whatever, and I know the company's being sold, I'm probably like, right, I either need to secure my position long term or prove myself here so that if everything goes to shit for me, I can find a different position somewhere else. That's the cynic in me. But the romantic in me, or the side that's winning out, is that they've just known that there's been a problem with the messaging for the last 7 years, and it's taken getting rid of the old guard and bringing in this new guard, and then them. I imagine it like turning a tanker in the Suez Canal. You don't just go like, all right, let's just go this way. There's all these fucking hoops you have to jump through and different people you have to go to and get on board with your idea. And then you have to, you know what I mean? I don't think it's as simple as like, hey, let's go back to fuck the quick fix. I think it's like, right, we're going to go back to fuck the quick fix. It's going to take us about 9 months to get there. How do we start now?
Okay, just because that would have been my first question. Where is the rumor, or what's the rumor about selling?
Apparently there's going to be some kind of something tomorrow. I don't think we're anywhere close. I've kind of lost not hope, but I'm just like I'm sort of sick of it, but I also don't have to talk about it. But I think
you can tell me as a early birthday present.
Oh, is your birthday tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Happy birthday.
Tomorrow. Hello, tomorrow. It's not good today.
What age are you going to be tomorrow?
I'm not going to tell you.
Are you in masters now?
18? No, fuck. I'm not that old. 33.
Okay. I'm 36, but whatever. My dad is still not going after this. I need a commercial for a 74-year-old man who can't squat to shit. That's what you've had for the last 4 years. So
if he's not on board yet,
get him some jugs of water and go back to 2019.
Maybe this is working for him, Maybe he needs like some badass in his life.
I believe that tomorrow there's going to be, maybe tomorrow or someday this week, there's going to be an announcement basically saying that maybe Malik and CrossFit have reached some kind of pre-deal agreement, and they're basically going to start looking at each other's books and making sure that everybody's being honest about what money they have and where it's coming from and all this kind of stuff. Because Berkshire selling, they don't want to sell to someone who's like a con man or whatever, and then it looks bad on them later on, because potential future investors will look and say, what the fuck happened with this company? You bombed it and then you sold it to some guy who turned out to be a nut job or whatever. So they have to check that everything's above board that side. And then he has to check that they're not lying about how much money they have or who owes them what or where the inventory and money and all that kind of stuff is. But I would say if that does happen this week, I'd say it's probably still like October, November, December before there's an actual.
But it's still the same guys and peoples who are like, we're talking since like months and weeks about it. Right?
Yeah, it's that fucking Move Max, and then
there's another bidder or someone else.
Apparently there's some American group, but it's private equity. But they have some
the World Fitness. World Fitness.
They went to put in it. They put in a deal, but it was too low. And then when CrossFit told them what they wanted, they said no. They said they were like Thanos. They were like, I'll do it myself. But there's apparently some other group that's private equity, but they have like an 8 to 10 year plan, not a 3 to 5 year plan. So I don't know if that's better, but it is what it is. All right, CrossFit Games. What did you think?
Well, I think if we go like a bit further away, I think when we did a podcast about Woodland, do you remember? And I was I was shocked as hell. I was like, shit. At that moment, I have to admit, I was really like, okay, this boat is really sinking. I think that's
I remember
where
saying CrossFit's dead.
Yeah,
if it
I
keeps
think
going,
really
yeah.
that's where I realized it. Of course, at the end, it still matters the games, but it's also important what we do is I think we cannot just have good games and the rest is like, oh, we don't care, because then we don't have like we need a platform for the semi-final athletes. We need a platform to give people a goal and a dream. And yes, of course, for the most people, the games is the goal and the dream. But you know yourself, there's 30 spots now, and not everyone is going to succeed that dream and that wish, right? um so I watched the games, and I believed, in my opinion, that it's going to depend a lot on those games in which direction CrossFit is going. And I have to say, I'm very
Not just
positive.
CrossFit though. Like it was
No,
if
the
that
whole
games
sport. Yeah, the whole
if that
sport.
games had tanked, I believe World Fitness Project was fucked, Wadapalooza was fucked, Rogue would suffer. I think if the games needed to be a success for all of those things to, like, as Sevon would say, flourish. I think if they had just said, if that had been shit, I think like brands, sponsorships, partners, everything would have suffered for the next 12 months, like it did for the last 12 months. So I think it needed to be good. You put up something interesting on social media. I meant to fucking screenshot and I forgot. But you're basically like, more or less the gist of it was the game's really good. You were really impressed. And then European men have a lot of work to do.
Well, it's just like I literally, this time I was like, okay, I'm not judging. I just tried to put some thoughts I had over the weekend. I was trying to like summarize and put them out. And like I said, the first one was that the games is still the biggest and most important and exciting, especially, competition in the sport. Well, like I said, I was meaning that I was watching the World Fitness Project 1 as an example, the event 1, and I barely fall asleep, and it was not very exciting, and I was just watching it. And I watched the games, and it was I really liked it. I liked the men's race for sure. I think the men's field was amazing, especially that last heat that was just like a level higher above everyone else.
Is that
But
is that the most times that the leader jersey has swapped? I feel like that was a lot compared to other years. Like usually someone gets it and kind of maybe lose it once. Like Adler has it and might lose it for a couple of events and gets it back. Or there was a year where I think Adler, Ricky, and Roman both, like the three of them had it.
that
But it
was
was like
probably a bit more change. Yeah.
Ricky had it, Jason had it, Jay had it, and Adler had it for the first event. So that's 4.
Yeah.
Is that the most? I feel like that's the most.
Yeah, probably.
It just shows how tight it was, though. And then you have Sprague milliseconds away from second place, like, and his confusion afterwards, where he's like, I don't understand the leaderboard. But it's nuts. And then Ricky was like out of the top 4 and came back onto the podium. Like it was electric.
No, like I said, I was cheering for Jay Crouch.
Yeah.
I would have loved to, like, someone who was not really on the radar of many people. And like I said, he did so well, like especially on the deadlift workout. No one really picked him to win this workout, and he came out and he fucking performed really fucking well. Yeah. But on the other side, I also need to give a lot of credits to Jason, especially on that last workout. I love to see when people come out, and like I saw him doing the first set of thrusters, and I was like, okay, he's gonna take it. Like there was not a second of doubt that he would not win this, or like beat the other guys on this workout and not win the competition. And this mindset what he had, especially after the previous event before, that's fucking badass. That's something I respect a lot.
There was 2 things about Jason that really impressed me. One was his ability to deal with the pressure he was under. Like he was pale as fuck for basically the whole last day. He just looked shook, and it got worse after he like spat out the back of those couple of snatches. He looked properly like shaken after that, where like you can imagine where you're like, fuck, what if I lose it on the last, after the whole year, the whole weekend, everything, and I pissed it away because I rushed 2 snatches that I didn't need to rush. So he was like a shadow of himself out in the back, but he did what he needed to do to get through it, as in he was basically like, I think I went over to him at one stage and I kind of got the impression like he doesn't really want to talk to anyone. I think Taylor had a similar experience. I think the documentary crew had a similar experience where he was just like, no. So he did what he needed to do to get through it. But so I think that was really impressive, the fact that he handled all of that. But it's just crazy when you think about like who he was 18 months ago versus who he is now, and how he had to suffer such shit to get to be the athlete that he is, through like going to Vermont and fucking hating it in the end, and just not becoming who he wanted to be, and thinking he needed to do it that way, and then realizing that actually this doesn't work for me at all, and then moving back home and just thriving. I just think it's crazy. Like most people either would have quit or stuck it out thinking that eventually it would come good, and probably would have just burnt out.
Yeah, like I said, I think every career is different, and I think what we can, like, there's many different examples. Like, let's take an old one with Fikowski. Man, Fikowski back in the days, it took him 5 years to get to the games. He was a 5-time regional athlete until a 4-time regionals athlete, something like this, 4 or 5 times, until he made it to the games. And I think he missed out like 3 or 4 times in a row by like 1 or 2 spots, right?
Yeah.
And then he arrived to the games and he had an amazing career. Then you can even take myself as another example. I made the games in my first year doing the open and regionals, and I qualified to the games. And then now I had a bigger struggle now, and like after like 4 years after being 4 times at the games, I got into struggle and trying to change that again, you know. So like I said, I think every career is very different. And you cannot just judge. Of course, it's easier. Like, or even if you take Justin, you know, like you come in, you win 2 years in a row, literally after taking 3rd place in your first games, and then you take 2 times 1st place. And now he's struggling probably a bit more since the last few years, you know.
But even I spoke to him in the back, and he seems to have, it's a similar thing to what Jason went through, where he was basically like, he still didn't fucking unblock me, but he spoke to me. But he was basically like, you know, yeah, I thought that I needed to do it that way. I thought that's the way, because that's what Matt did. So I assumed that that's how you do it. You cut people off, and you know, like go into a cave and just sort yourself out and get through it or whatever, and just bury yourself until you're ready. And then he was like, it's only now that I sort of realized, God, I fucking hated doing CrossFit. Like I hated training. I hated competing. And now he's basically found a way to actually enjoy it. Whether, I don't know, it seems to be more so through like Dallin and James and those guys. Although I don't know if I saw him speak to them like at all in the warm-up area. But they have that podcast, they chat to each other a lot, and he just seems a bit more at ease with stuff. But yeah, like James, Jason, and Dallin were chatting to each other a good bit until Sunday. Then Jason didn't talk to anyone.
No, like I said, even this is a one thing I tell everyone now, since I'm in the coaching business and people are interested in coming on board or one-on-one. The first thing I tell them, this is what I believe and this is what I think you need to do. And even like just the programming. But at the end, the most important thing, it doesn't matter who the coach is, it doesn't matter what the program is, it doesn't matter at all. You need to like it and you need to believe it. Because if you come every day to training and you're going to spend a lot of time in the gym, if you come every day to training and every time you look at your training and you think like, holy shit, this sucks, you're not going to get well. You can do everything right. You can do everything perfect. But if you don't enjoy your training, if you don't enjoy your, that's a reason why I love, or I moved to Mallorca, because I love C23. I love the people in there. I love the gym. I love the atmosphere. And I think these things are so much more important than who exactly, what program. Of course, it's very important as well. There's a lot of things what is important, but I think the first number one step is, hey, let's try for a week or even 2 weeks. And if you say, hey, this kind of programming is nothing for me, or don't enjoy it, I'm the first one to tell them, go find something else. Like I said, you need to like it, otherwise you won't have success with it.
Yeah, CrossFit says, isn't that what you tell your members about getting results? Yeah, I think most affiliates that you go to are the self-secure ones or self-confident ones. They're the ones that say like, hey, there's another gym down the road that you might like their programming better. Maybe it might suit you better. It might keep you coming 4 or 5 days a week rather than once or twice a week. or whatever. They're like a good few of the affiliates I went to were like, I don't mind there being another gym down the road because I get to tell my members if they're not happy, just go there and it's fine, and we'll take their members if they're not happy.
Yeah, that
but
also shows that you're so confident. Like I said, I'm so confident as a coach. I believe in what I do. I believe in what I teach. I believe what I program. But again, it doesn't matter if you don't like it.
Yeah. Is there any, the European men? So Harry Lightfoot was the fittest. He's the fittest UK man of all time, actually. So he finished higher.
Well,
than,
maybe can you let's go through. Well, let's maybe talk quick about the men and the female.
I want to really hone in on the European men, though.
I will. But let's talk about men, female. Let's pick up the leaderboard, and we can even go through it.
Maybe,
and then we can talk about some of the events, or like the programming in overall.
You gonna pull up the leaderboard, or do you want me to do it?
No, I have no idea how to do that, man. I would probably just destroy my laptop.
Here we go. I don't think you can do it, to be honest. All right, man. Is that big enough? Yeah.
Okay,
I thought that was pretty impressive. Like, I think that kind of, if he hadn't come 8th in that, he wasn't going to win, basically. Like, that was a good result for him. Obviously the row helps, but like doing well in a run workout is pretty good for Jason, I thought.
Yeah, like
I think everybody expected Adler, Ricky, and Roman to be thereabouts in that.
Yeah. Well, I think what is interesting, first of all, about Adler, like I was of course disappointed, but it shows just that the only thing I heard about Adler, I cannot judge because I don't know much, but the only thing I heard is that he was dealing with a back injury since a while, and his games prep wasn't as like good as like it should be, or like he could not do everything.
Yeah. Whatever.
No, just tell me like if it's wrong or not. Like this is what I heard.
Just, like, it fucking always has excuses. Like, that's just the thing that pisses me off, is that like he fucking bombed at the games. He was gonna bomb at the games last year and fucking pulled out because like Lazar, but he fucking called all his sponsors first to make sure that he was okay before. Like, that's not a moral decision. And then he goes to Wallapalooza.
Well, just for that, we also know that Laura Howard dropped out because she had a back injury and she couldn't do a GHD sit up, and that's why she had an easy exit as well last year. Do
you know that for a fact?
I know that for a fact. Yeah.
There you go. The other thing about Adler is at Wallapalooza, he said on camera, he was like, well, it depends what makes the most money for me, because if the CrossFit Games has a good prize purse, I'll choose to do that, and I'll like basically, you know, with like break my contract or whatever with World Fitness Project. But if the World Fitness Project is more money, I'll choose that over the CrossFit Games. I'll just decline my place, even if I get a place. He was like, Rogue is my North Star. So that's my main thing that I want to do. And then the other things are just like, whatever. And just, I don't know, like, that's just not what the CrossFit Games is to me. Maybe I'm naive, but it's like, I think beyond event 1, it kind of showed that whatever, blame your back, blame whatever. I just think just, you know, it's time to come home, Jeff.
No, like I really respect him as an athlete and what he has done. Like he, especially, I think, what was it even the last 2 years he has been on the scene. He has always, I feel like when he was there, he mostly like Rogue and stuff, he performed. What I think, like I said, let's take, I don't know much about it, but I feel like, again, you can see that, let's take the rumor with the back injury, what I heard, and you could also see it on the back squat. I think he was never that weak. Even his form was very bad. You could see how he was shifting a lot to one side. But anyway, what I want to say is that the games or even any competitions now, it's no point to show up if you're not 100%. Like in this field, you know, you're getting eaten alive if you know you're not ready to compete. And of course, 100%, what does that mean? But at least what I mean with it, like probably no athlete would ever say that they're at 100%.
It's
but
like
at least
Sprague said on Sevon's show the other day, he was like, there's injuries that will affect your performance and there's injuries that just make warming up a bit more annoying.
Yeah, exactly. But also, like I said, leading up is like, okay, if I cannot lift, let's take myself. I knew in 2021 I injured myself in quarterfinals. Then somehow I did semifinals. I placed second with like literally one leg. What I still don't know up to date how I did that. And then leading up to the games, I could not squat at all. I could not lift. I literally just did machines and gymnastics. And I didn't had like I already knew before the games that I'm gonna suck because I know these are the best people in the world, and you cannot show up with like not doing things or having a handicap and expecting to do well, you know. And I think that's just something. Yeah, but like I said, this is why also now it's going to be interesting to see in 3 weeks or 2 weeks with the World Fitness Project. Normally, the people who just do the World Fitness Project, do you actually see that I finally can say the name like in the proper manner? I never understand it how to say it. But anyway, like normally now you should see that the people who just focus on the World Fitness Project should finish much better now than the people from the games. And that's going to be
Should they,
very
though?
interesting to see. I believe they should. Like I said, if you focus on one thing, and that's when we get to Harry Lightfoot. I like that he was like, yeah, you know what? The game season is what I want. He went all in for online semis. I don't think he even had um, I don't even think that he had a second somewhere chance. So he was like, I know I'm going to be in shape. I'm going to do semis online. I'm going to qualify, and then I'm going to prepare for the games. And I think it displayed very well the games weekend that he did so well because that was his mainly focus. Now, again, it's going to be interesting to see in 2-3 weeks, like what a guy like Vellner or Yelle or Agnol or people like this, how they going to perform, or if they're still going to run around, or even Luca, if they're still going around somewhere between 20th, 30th, or if they can beat some of the guys who had the games this weekend.
Yeah. I just kind of wonder, like, if you take someone like, say, Justin, I think Dallin's probably going to win World Fitness Project because I think he really wants to undo the weekend. But I think that, like, if you have those athletes that are training for the games, like, there's nothing really like training for the games. And then you have someone else who's like off on their own training for a World Fitness Project and then watching the people do the games and then thinking like, well, I'm going to be so ready because they're all going to be beaten up. But it's like, you don't lose that fitness unless you actually hurt yourself. They're going to be at they're still like riding the wave of fitness that they've built up for the games over the next 3 weeks.
It's just mental. Like, I don't know. I experienced that many times. Most times after this competition, you probably could like rest 2-3 days and your body would feel fine again. You could go back to training. Especially this year, the volume wasn't that great or that big, like than other years. So I think body wise, after like 3-4 days, you could probably go back and be back in the gym. But I think mentally, like, I think it does something to you. Like I said, there is a reason why Fraser took a month full off after the games. There is a reason why a lot of people did the same and just took 2-3 weeks off, because I think, and I think this is what we're gonna see also now with end of the season, with Vodapalooza coming up, with Rogue coming up, with the final of the World Fitness Project coming up. At some point, it's not just your body, but the most important thing is your mind. And if your mind and your motivation is not there anymore, you can be have the fittest and strongest body, but it's not going to play out well, you know.
Yeah,
so
I think it just plays.
to
I just think it plays different for people like Jason, Ricky, James, Lucy Campbell, Olivia. I think it plays different for people like that because they're riding a high. I think there's two types of people that will continue to do well: the people who are riding like an emotional peak and who've done really well, and the people who are like pissed off and just missed out, like Dallin. And then I think below them, I think people will struggle. I think they're the people that might suffer a little bit with mental fatigue and stuff, because it's kind of like, oh, fucking hell, I finished like 15th. It's fine, I suppose. And now I have to list myself to go again. Like those type of people versus the people who are like, I fucking won and I'm going to curb stomp everyone again, or I came second, or I came third, or whatever. Or, oh, fuck, I missed out by like 3 points. I should have been there. Like now I'm hungrier than ever. And I think they're in a much better mental space than people who are like, yeah, I'm definitely really thrilled with my decision to boycott the games, and it's not annoying at all to watch how the whole community come together and me just be up here in like my fucking shed in Canada or Belgium or whatever. I thought it was. Sorry, go on.
No. like I said, I feel what I do. I have to say, I feel bad for Jason. Like, I think if you are the fittest man on earth and you did that and this was your dream, like, you just want to fucking enjoy it. I don't think
Well,
that
he can refuse the next comp if he wants.
I
Like,
would like if I would be him, I would be like, fuck you guys. I don't fucking care. If you want to have me on that final, it's fine.
because he also
I'm
has SoCal next
Yeah,
month as
but
well. So it's got
honestly,
like,
if this is because again, I think that's where we're at the point, and I think probably like someone like Justin would tell you that nothing is for granted in the sport. You know, like
yeah,
this might be the last time and the first time Jason ever will win the games. You know,
I don't think it
um,
will be, but yeah.
who knows? You know,
No, no,
maybe
I know.
like I
I know.
said, the same as Justin after he won 2 years in a row. Everyone was expecting him to win on the third year as well. It didn't happen, and it didn't happen since then either.
I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't win next year. But I do think that like between Jay, Dallin, Justin, James, Ricky next year, who to leave out, Jason, I think there's going to be just a constant like back and forth at the games for the next, maybe not for 2 or 3 years with Ricky, but for the rest of them for 3 or 4 years. They're just going to be back and forth, different one winning, different one second, different one third, year on year, until someone just establishes dominance over the rest of them, which I think might be Dallin, but we'll see. I thought it was pretty funny. Toby Buckland was predicted to come 20, I think it was either 27th or 28th by John Young, and he was not at all happy with that prediction. So it's kind of funny that he finished 27th. But he put up a post afterwards saying like, all right, this is like eye-opening to see. He's like, there's levels to it, basically. Like he was like, yeah, you
Yeah,
can
but
make the
that's what-
games and then
But that's what I'm always saying. Like I said, I realized that in 2016 as well, where I was, like I said, I had a first grade. I think I placed 5th in the open, 4th in the regionals, went to the games, and I just got destroyed. And I was like, okay, this is a different level. And I think there is, I can't remember who said that, but somewhere I say, like I said, I say it many times, is that you need to be at the games to understand the level at the games.
yeah.
And again, if we look at the leaderboard, there's a few people they should not be at the games because they just somehow got lucky to it. And well, let's scream up, but we now you fucking go all the way down.
I'm just starting work at this. Is how you don't count down to New Year's from 1 to 100. You start like at 10 and
no,
work
but
your way up to
we
1.
still have to go through the European men's if you said. If
I
we
know.
wanna
I'm
talk
going through
about
them
it.
here. Toby Buckland's fucking European, man.
Yeah, but
Jeez. Bronislav, did you watch the first event?
yeah, I watched it, but I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. He did that many times. And
I know, but like he literally fucking walked. Like
yeah,
part
but
of it
why?
was
Like I said, if you know you get last place,
yeah, I think it's pretty impressive.
honestly,
He finished 24th with 2 last places. It's pretty good.
he impressed me on the second one. Actually, it was very surprising. No, but well, let's take who's Harry, 11th.
Yeah, it's like Harry's the
Yeah.
highest male, and then Callum is
Yeah.
next, 5 places lower. and then
I
Callum is
I loved watching Harry. He's like a warrior out there. He
Harry
was like,
fucking Lightfoot.
yeah, I fucking like that. He was fucking cool to watch. It was a bit shame. I don't know. He run out a bit on, I don't know, whatever. It was just like how the events showed up on like end of the competition. But
Do you
I
know?
feel like
Do you know who's really fucking switched on is his coach. So is Harry, but I think Harry is as switched on as he is because of his coach as well. Like his coach is really good, Mike Allen. He was like, Harry's his only say notable athlete, but he helps like Amy, and you know, like Fraser coaches Amy, but he kind of helps or whatever. They kind of work together. But the stuff he was saying like was really good, where he was kind of saying, look, I said to Harry, if he was in so he had a 10th, a 5th, and a 3rd in his first 3 events. And then he didn't do too well on the Sunday, say. But he was kind of saying to Harry, all right, but if it was the other way around, if Friday you didn't do well and then you climbed slowly over the weekend and finished up in 11th place, would you be happy? And Harry's like, yeah, I'd be fucking delighted. And then the coach was like, so be fucking happy then. Like he was like, it's just the order of the events. That's the only
100%.
thing that's changed.
And it's so much, it makes such a big difference. Like again, I can talk out of experience. Normally it always starts with a swim event, and I wasn't, or I never be probably a great swimmer. So the first event was always like fuck shit, and then it was like, okay, let's try to climb, right? But I remember in 2018 we started with a bike event, and I won that one. And it's such a big difference if you start with a win into the weekend, or if you start well. And then I remember it was 30 muscle ups for time, a good event for me as well. The total was okay back then. I did well on the marathon row, and like I said, it's so much easier to riding the high wave than coming from the low wave and trying to get on that high wave. So yeah, no, I think of course I think it's always good when you can start into like the games or any competition with an event is a good event for you. I think that's always good. No, but like I said, I liked him, and it was he did a good job. And
he's
then,
also one of like maybe 6 male athletes who are not afraid to just be unashamedly themselves and just be like, I'm going to say something that you might think is stupid, but I think it's hilarious.
yeah.
And like, you know,
I
he's funny as fuck, basically.
I just saw that he's taking around 1,200 grams of carbs doing competition a day, and I think that's not the smartest thing to do. Doing though, like if you have this kind of volume, like if maybe if it would be like the old game system with longer events and more volume, I think that would be true. But you can also you can also mess up yourself a little bit if you take too many carbs into
I thought
your
I was going
body.
to bite that microphone.
You would never bite me.
All right, Callum. I thought Callum did pretty well. Like, I think, you know.
Well, Callum is someone
any of the European
impressed
guys
me.
coming inside the top 20 is pretty good. But it's like.
But honestly, like I said, this is what I want to say in general as well. We're missing 10 people. So you cannot say, I think a 9, or like let's take a 15 place, you have to value a bit differently now. The same on the women's side, like, and we can maybe go through that later, and I tell you like what I think. Like let's take, well, like I said, Callum in general, he always surprised me in a lot of things. He's a massive dude, and especially like in certain things, he always surprised me. And I think there's more to come to him if he fixes some.
Do you think there's any possibility that he's juicing?
If he fixes some holes. But
no,
sorry, something in my headset came up. So yeah, I think he has more talent, and I think like I said, he executed well this weekend. And then we have Colin just behind him. Like, again, like Colin is someone who is really good in certain things, but also has a lot of has some very big holes. And I feel this is the reason also he didn't qualify for the last 3 or 4 years. He always missed out by a spot or something, because he has still some really big holes. And if they show up, and again, when we are at the games, and these things show up, you just have like let's say in a semi-final, you might have like 10 or 15 people coming in between. But here at the games, like I said, for example, the back squat event, you just have like literally the whole field coming in between, right? And you get like, again, you cannot have any holes anymore, or like not at least those big holes he has. So as long he's not going to fix those holes, he can be as good as he wants in running and thruster and burpees. I don't think we will ever see him higher on the leaderboard. But if he fixes the holes, he has a lot of potential to climb that leaderboard as well for the next few years.
am I right? Have you ever trained with? See, I haven't trained with Harry. Have you trained with Callum, or am I misremembering? Or you competed against him or something? Was it?
I competed against both of them.
Against Harry as well.
French throwdown, yeah.
Harry,
okay. Yeah.
What about Colin? Have you much familiarity with him?
Okay, 1 second. I think can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Huh, okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
My headset set is off, but I still can hear you. So
okay. Did you hear my question about Callum that you like left an incredibly long pause for and then didn't answer, or you just genuinely didn't hear it?
No, I didn't hear it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I asked, do you think there's any chance that Callum is on the juice?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But I have another juice story if you want it for later.
Tell me now.
No, let's go later. Because if we're gonna start with this now, we're never getting back to this. So,
all right, okay. I think Moritz is basically what Harry's coach was talking about with Harry. It's like the opposite. He had a really bad first half and then a great second half, but it just wasn't enough to lift him any higher than basically 19th.
Okay, but Moritz, honestly, he's now since 4 years at the games. He does always very well in European competitions, but as soon he gets to the games, he shits his fucking pants. Or I don't know what he does, but I'm amazed that, like I said, he's a good athlete.
Is he capable of higher than that? Do you think? Is he capable of like 12th or
100%,
higher?
especially this year. Like I
So
think it
what
was
is it then?
I
Like,
think it was
is it
amazing.
prep? Is it programming? Is it
Well,
like
one thing I know, well, just one thing I can tell you what he was. Everyone like saw that, but I think one thing is, like I said, especially this year, I think the programming was great for him. I think this year was probably the best.
we're not going to talk about the Balkans? It's okay. This year, go on. Yeah, sorry.
I think this year it was the best games programming for him ever. Like I think beside the first event and maybe the deadlift handstand walk event, I think beside that it was all great programming for him. Now, like I said, I also saw like that he posted that he's happy and he is his highest placement ever. But again, yes, it is highest placement. He finally made it in the top 20, but after 4 years at the games, and 10 less people at the games, I'm not sure how happy I would personally be, but that's his thing. But again, like, I don't know what, man, everyone has watched it. I want to know what you think about it, but how, I don't know, but I think the squat event blew my mind. How the hell can you, I think, what was his first lift? 465? And then I know his second was 485. And then he went from 485
Yeah,
to
that was
530.
insane. Who was I standing beside? Adam Neifer. I never know how to say his name. I was standing beside him, and Morris did. Yeah, it was like was it a 40-pound jump or something?
Even
And
55-pound jump. It was.
yeah, he was putting it
over
on
20
and
kilos.
Adam Neifer looked at it and goes, "Geez, that's a jump and a half." And then he missed it. It was like, well, like, okay.
Yeah, but I think everyone was like, well, surprise, surprise. And I don't understand. Like, this is my point. I don't understand as an athlete, first of all, but also not as a coach to say, hey, boys, everyone is making 10, 15-pound jumps. Let's fuck them up. Let's do like a small jump to the second lift. And then, surprise, surprise, we put 10 kilos more than your PR on the bar and make over 20 kilos jump. And let's see what happens.
Do you think it was just a mistake? Do you think it was like one or two
No,
things?
no. I think
that he misunderstood what he was doing when he was going out, like just got confused or whatever when he's loading the weights? Or did he genuinely believe after his second lift, he was like, fuck, I feel really strong, and all these other guys are lifting more than me. I need to risk it. I need to put more on. And then he just collapsed.
No, I think because I saw he made a Q&A on his Instagram, and I saw that I think a lot of people ask about that. And you know what his answer was? In these moments, I 100% trust in my coach. And that was planned. So that was not a mistake.
Oh, God. Okay.
So again, as an athlete, if my coach would come to me and say, hey, let's outsmart them, let's make a fucking 50-pound jump, I would say, take your fucking shit and leave.
I wonder, was John Singleton in the back going, 15? I said 15, not 50.
Yeah, like I said, that just blew my mind. I didn't understand the world when I saw that. Like,
what about Yana?
And it was especially not like the 485 didn't look like that easy. That is like, yeah, let's put on 20 kilos.
No, it was bizarre. What about Yana?
Well, I think Janne, I've talked to him. I think Janne has just too much going on this year. Like,
he's a baby coming like now.
Well, it should any day. Yeah, I hope it's coming tomorrow, so we would share the birthday.
Did his dad die recently?
No, it was his grandfather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking hell. Like, I know Finnish people are stoic, but I thought that was pretty crazy.
No, it was his grandfather.
Do you think he'll retire?
No, I don't think so. Like, not when we talked, he never meant. I think he knows that, or he thinks, and I believe so too, that he has years in again. But again, Janne was also someone who didn't compete it much in back in the days. Like, Janne did mostly the game season. That was his 100% main focus, and that was also the reason I believed he did always very well at the games.
So he's not like
how
beat
many
up from it, you mean?
Yeah, and then he mostly maybe did like 1 or 2 off-season competition, and that's it. Man, if you look what he has already done this year, he probably has done more competitions to qualify and to the games with the World Fitness Project.
He did every semi-final.
Sorry?
He did every semi-final.
Yeah, like he did. he did the 3 weeks in a row, right? He did the
Yeah.
Woodland, the online, the World Fitness Project. Then
And the Last Chance.
a month later, he did the Last Chance.
Yeah.
Then he had like 4 weeks to prepare for the games, did the games. And again, I think it just shows again, the level is now so good that you cannot come like this anymore to the games. And I think that's maybe something also he realized. So, and with all that fact, he's having a baby coming as well. So again, I think Jonne still has many years in him left. I think if he's mentally there and he wants that, it's going to be interesting with the baby, how if there is a change, because it's such a big change in life. But I believe that Jonne is still a great athlete, and he still has a lot of potential to be on like in the upper part of the leaderboard again, like where he used to be at the games.
He suffered from no swim as well, didn't he? Like in that first event. If that was run, swim, run, he probably would have been top.
Like I said,
four,
it just matters. So, like, then we are at the point again. Also, a bike. He has always done well on a bike event as well, right?
Yeah.
He just, I don't know why, because he runs actually quite a lot, but just
Was
running.
Do you think was he disappointed that Brooke Wells got flowers and her parents and a big video montage for 10 years, and Tiana, they were just like, "Oh, is this your 10th as well? Oh, cool." That was it.
I didn't even see that. No, he didn't say anything about that. But I don't think he cared too much about these kind of things.
So Braun, Enrico Zanoni, I forgot about him. He's mayhem now, isn't he, Enrico?
Yeah.
When I saw him, he was supposed to be French Throwdown, and he withdrew because he was injured. He had already qualified, but he withdrew because he was in, or like he had a niggle. But he had, I think it was like his calf or something was all taped up when he's walking around at French. Do you think, have you heard anything about him like not operating at 100%, or do you think his 22nd is that like thereabouts for him where he should be?
I'm surprised he qualified to the games, and I thought the way he is as an athlete, again, similar than Colin, in some things very good, but also has a lot of big holes, especially his weightlifting, how we could see on the squat. I think he was lucky that the semifinals didn't have any heavy lifts. I believe if the online semifinals would have had any heavy lifts or 1RMs, he would have not made it to the games, and maybe not even Colin either. Because again, it's just, they have such a big weakness there. Man, it just blew my mind. I don't know if he was injured or not, but he didn't even squat 200 kilos. That blew my fucking mind. That you have games athletes nowadays who cannot squat 200 kilos. Like that was very disappointing to see. Like I said, I don't think, if he's not going to fix these problems, like I said, this is why I believe we need to test heavyweights, proper heavyweights in semifinals, because otherwise you bring people like this to the games who should honestly not be at the games because they have so big holes.
Yeah. Well, if you just leave the strength testing for the games and they just have to be ready for it, though. And then if they don't, they just...
Yeah, but what's the goal of the game? To get the best 30 athletes to the games, right? And not the best specialists. So if you don't test heavyweight, then you're going to have like these specialists at the games, And then you see things like people cannot back squat 200 kilos.
Yeah. But you can't test everything before the games.
No, not everything, but like I said, if you have a semifinals, what we used to have in regionals, and you have like 6 to 7 events, like you should test one of those 6 to 7 events. You should test one of like strength event.
But then, like, yeah, to Lucy's point, what's the 5K time? Like, what's the bare minimum for, oh, you shouldn't go to the games if you can't run this in this time, or do, I don't know, fucking Fran in this time, or do, if there's a minimum level for back squat, is there not a minimum level for other stuff too?
Well, like I said, I'm not saying you need to squat 200. It just blow my mind, because I have people here at the gym coming to me and saying I can squat 200 kilos. I can out squat the games athlete. I think that's very bad to say. Like on the women's side as well, I had a girl texting me and said, like, I watched the games. It was super inspirational. But she said, and she's a regular athlete, and she said, not even an athlete, she's just a regular. She said, it blows my mind that I could out squat the last place at the games. And that's
but she
not
couldn't
how
do
it
any of
should
the
be.
other shit better than them, probably.
Yeah, but even like I said, it should still not be like this.
But that's the specialist though, isn't it? Like she's the specialist.
No, she's
'Cause
just
she
a
can-
regular. She's
But
just
she
a
can
regular.
squat heavy, or like heavier than she can squat the 29th heaviest squat in CrossFit, but then she cannot do any of the other stuff to their standards. So that's why she's not there. Is she not the specialist versus Enrico, who can do the other stuff really well and just has a hole that he needs to fill? Rather, like he's the opposite of a specialist, isn't he?
Yes, but again, well, no, but my point is, I don't get it that, like I said, it's the same. Let's take cycling. If I look cycling, even the worst cyclist on the peloton at the Tour de France is 100 times or like 20 times better than me.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean. People look at the games and see like, oh, wow, I can literally squat more than a games athlete. That
Yeah, but they
should not
can't do any of
be.
the other shit better than them.
Yeah, but they're not even specialists. Like I said, I have random people at the gym who can squat 200 kilos.
But you don't have to be a specialist. Like you shouldn't. The whole point of CrossFit is not to be a specialist, isn't it? It's to be like all rounded. You're not very good at anything. You're just
Yeah, but
really good
that's
at
my-
everything.
But the games is still the highest of the sport. That's my point.
Yeah, but the task for Enrico or Jason or whoever is to be really good at everything. And you might
Yeah,
have a
so
couple
exactly,
of home
like,
runs.
really
And
good,
if you
then
want the higher up the leaderboard you want to be, you want to have like a couple of home runs as well as being really good at everything and not really having any weaknesses. Then you go down to say maybe 13th, 14th down as far as the bottom of the leaderboard at the games, still crazy impressive at everything they do. But they're the ones that they're really good at everything, but they have a couple of holes and maybe not a couple of home runs. And that's why they're lower down. It's like the games isn't about being like, it's
Okay,
great. If
maybe-
like Colton
maybe
has
have a
heavy,
different-
Colton has the heaviest back squat there and he didn't win. Do you know what I mean? He like,
Yes, but okay, maybe what my point is, like, maybe this is more like my ego then. If I would be a games athlete, or if I'm a games athlete and I would be at the gym and a regular member would like, my expectation then is like, I'm one of the best athletes in the sport. So I expect myself to be better than in anything than a regular class member. That's my expectation because
but
I'm
what
the
if your
top.
regular class member is fucking Klokov who just stopped competing and he goes
Well,
into
okay,
his
but
class?
then he used to. That's man. Yeah, you can also like. That's just. Oh, he's a marathon runner and he runs.
Yeah, that's what I
5K.
mean though. They like,
No, but they are not. I know those guys. They are not specialists. These are This is what my point. They are regular class people. They are not backgrounded. They're regular class people. They join 5 times a week the class, and they can back squat 200. That's my point.
yeah, but
They
my
are
point
not
is they can't do
block
any of the
off.
other
They are
shit.
not having a weightlifting background.
Yeah, but they
That's
can't do
my
any of the
point.
other stuff though. They wouldn't be able to do like
No, but
who's
even
last.
one thing, like if I'm a games athlete, I don't want to get beaten by anything from a normal class.
They wouldn't be able to
That's
do
my
that
point.
first event in an hour and 3 minutes and Braun walked. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's bad too. I think that's really bad too.
I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to agree on this. I think it's fine
No, for-
if a games athlete, if a random like gym member beats a games athlete in a workout or a movement, I'm like, okay, cool. And I go and do the other stuff. You know, like go
well,
and
then
do
you
it.
have just another standard because I would fucking go nuts. I would.
But
fucking
it's
go.
like, okay, yeah, go. Did that woman do the back squat after doing 4 other events over 2 days? You know what I mean? Like, all that stuff plays into it too.
Yeah. Well, but I said, I just say, I think you should not even get into this communication. So you saying to show up at the games and having a 188 back squat, what does it like? Then it shows that, okay, I'm sorry, but then again, then we just proved that the semifinal is shit. That was a shit programming. Like, how is it possible that between first place and last place in an event is 70 kilos?
I think that's a better point. That there was a gap in the programming until you got to the games. I think that's a point that I could agree with more than saying a games athlete should never lose any games event to anybody.
Yes, okay. That maybe this is just more personal because I could not handle that and I would fucking probably kill myself or like, I don't know. Let's take this away, but then let's say, okay, it should not be that. Honestly, that's the same someone. Yeah, I don't like, okay, but then even Colton is a specialist in a squat then.
Yeah, he is though.
Yes, exactly. But so that's like not take Colton, but again, most people still squatted around 220, 230. So he was still 20 kilos away from like, no, more, even like he squatted at 188. So he was like still 30 kilos away from the probably average of the field. And it just shows me that the test to the games then is missing something, that these people still qualify to the games and having this big of a weakness.
Who came second last?
Souza, the Brazilian guy, or whatever his name is.
Matt. Where is he there? 450. They're the same weight. Why are you picking on Enrico?
Well, because we talk about the European athletes. No,
I know, but still.
I'm even like, actually, that guy, actually, he was actually really impressive in some events, the Brazilian guy. So
he
I was
actually really was. He really
yeah,
was.
yeah, no, I totally agree. No, okay, but my point then overall is I'm not picking even Enrico. My point is more that there is a mistake then that we have these people at the games who having this big of a hole. And I think that's something what should not be. At the games, you want to have the best 30 athletes. And if you have a big hole like this, I believe if you, it's my opinion again, if you cannot squat even 200, you should not, like, you have very big holes and you should not be at the games. That's my personal opinion.
415 pounds is a good job. So it's not that I'm not getting it. I just disagree. So I get what he's saying and I get the sentiment that he has. And if he would kill himself because somebody not at the games back squatted more than him in an event, I mean, okay, I'd miss him. But it's also like, I just don't feel that it's the purpose of the CrossFit Games is to find the person who doesn't have a hole and also has a couple of hole runs.
Like, sorry, if you look at the field, if you look at the leaderboard, a 188 is clearly a hole, so he should not be at the games.
Yeah, but look at the leaderboard and look at Braun's fucking run, or look at the leaderboard. You know what I mean? There's people across.
But Braun's,
look at the leaderboard and look at Moritz's
I'm not going to push.
Coach decision to jump by that much. Like, there's stupid stuff happening across the leaderboard. It doesn't mean that none of them deserve to be there.
He still out-squatted Enrico by like 30 kilos or 20 kilos. You know what I mean? Like 30.
It could have been 70.
Yes. No, but this is like I said, I believe this that if you see this kind of results, again, nothing again Enrico or again the Brazilian guy, but this kind of results just shows me that something went wrong leading up to the games.
Okay, this is a great point. Rich walked on 333, like absolutely fucking bombed on it.
Yeah, but
should he have? I'm sure many people at affiliates beat him in that workout.
Okay, forget the point. That was maybe too personal of way thinking. So just stop.
The point Adrian's trying to make is he'd slit his own throat if someone back squatted more than him. He's not suggesting that Enrico do that.
No, but again, you agree that again, if you see this, and again, it's no surprising that he qualified through the semifinals.
If you take 30th in any event and you're not inside the top 10, you just get cut. Yeah, that's pretty cutthroat. That's actually a good idea. A show of minimum expectations of games athletes. So what it would take. Yeah, sorry, Travis, I know I'm upsetting you. Tiago, he was at the program, was he? Was he at your gym?
Yeah, he's sometimes here, yeah.
Did he use the fridge
you said
no?
Toby Buckland is first, no?
Oh, well, we kind of talked about him, yeah. So what are your thoughts on Toby?
Well, no, I'm not surprised. Like
he basically
qualified from a shit region or like a bad region, and I knew he's gonna get eaten alive. I'm not surprised. That's like, yeah, I'm like, this is just realistic. Same with Tiago. Nothing against him personally, but he should also not be at the games. He
went through Asia, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to he picked probably the second weakest, or with Africa the weakest qualifying competition. Didn't qualify and got a refill place and qualified. Then of course what you have to take him away as well, he didn't have the same preparation probably, because he got probably the information that he could go to the games later, but yeah, he just got eaten alive as well. But in a normal,
have you seen him train and stuff?
Yeah, I have competed against him a few times and stuff, and like he's a good semifinal athlete. He's not on a games level athlete.
So if it wasn't for Asia, you don't think he'd go, basically?
He would never make it out. I think in Europe, he probably would have he needs to make sure that he even qualify. Like, let's say next year is a normal year again, and we have one semifinal out of Europe with 40 athletes. I think he would have to fight to even qualify, and he might finish somewhere between 20th
4
and 30th.
semifinals, you mean?
Yeah, but like if there is a
Jeez.
bad programming at quarterfinals, I think he might even have a fight. I think he will qualify, and then probably it depends a bit on the programming, but I think he would probably finish in Europe somewhere between 15 and 25th, or even lower probably. Like you could see at the games, like how many points did he got? 138 points. Like
yeah. What about the do you think is there any argument to just cut it down to 20?
No, I love the 30. I think 30, especially when I was watching always all the 3 heats. That was actually the first time I did that, and I really enjoyed 3 heats. I think that was perfect. Sometimes with the deadlift, I think it was great. I did 2 heats. I think that was great, but I think 40 is too much, 20 is too little, and I think 30 is perfect.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I'd agree. I think 40 is too many, 30 is good. It was quick. The whole weekend was fast moving. It was always, I think as well, like there are some, relatively speaking, there are some shit athletes, as in like not everybody's going to be, not every heat is going to be like Tia and Lucy racing each other. You're going to end up with ones where it's just kind of like, okay, cool, they all got capped apart from that guy. Or they all got capped apart from those 2 who set a time that's just going to be beat by the last person in the next heat. But there were still good races within those heats. So I think, 30. And the fact that it's fast moving is nice as well.
Okay, can you take the comment? I would fucking love that. From
Which?
Sivan. Cut the guy in last place after every event. That would be nuts. That would be nuts. I would love that. That would be fucking crazy.
Maybe not the first event. Well, maybe the first event too. Yeah,
yes, of course.
So bye Braun. So you lose Braun on event 1.
Well, of course, he was not probably the favorite to go into this, but he also played his played his cards.
Yeah.
Like, and this is what, for example, well, if let's take, we're not talking about the Europeans, but I think the biggest bomb here and the biggest overhyped guy, and even overhyped himself, is this William Leahy guy. Again, he qualified out of a shit semifinal. Luckily, because the other guy didn't know how to change his plates, he qualified. Then he goes. I watched Hiller's video like 3 days before the games. He goes there and says cocky that he thinks that he's just out of the top 10, but he will finish somewhere 11th, 12th. He's just behind those top guys. And then the whole weekend, he sucks. And now then he goes on Hiller and he says, yeah, I know the first event crushed me so hard. It's like, man, the first event was announced, I think, in May. So you had like 3 months time to do that event and know your paces and to see how you get crushed.
Didn't he say something about not being able to run though or something?
Yes, but
the
then
first
even
time he ran
then,
was like a week before or something.
Okay, but then again, Braun is just smart in those things and say, I'm not going to even try to win it because I know I'm going to get last or second last.
He knew that the last guy was getting, or thought the last guy was getting cut after the first event, so he didn't want to come last.
Yeah, probably. No, but again, but even if you know you haven't run, how the hell can you go 3 days before the games on the telling on Hiller, say that you're just out of the top 10 with knowing the first event is literally just about the run. The deadlift has a run where it was such like a big part of it. And then you had a sprint event with the snatches as well.
He was after the second event, I think it was. What was the second event?
And he was just constant bad, no? I think he had 1 or 2 events. But
after the second event, that was the double under one. I remember him talking to somebody and he was like, yeah, my body just isn't responding to things that I wanted to do.
What the hell do you expect, man? You can't like, this is what I mean.
Is that just a Toby Buckland scenario where it's just like, oh shit, okay.
Yes, this is just what I want to say. I think I hope he realized, and like I said, this is why it's good some people get to the games, because they need to realize how good the people are at the games, like how good that top heat was at the games, and even how good the last heat was even at the games, you know? I think that's, I don't know, maybe it's an eye opener. I hope for him. Like I said, I don't know him, but it just blew a bit my mind that, yeah, like, I don't know. Maybe he is living a bit in his own world. It is impressive that he made it in 1 year back after being injured, like what
Yeah.
he had last year. That is impressive and well done. But yeah, maybe wake up.
Who else then? Is there anybody else where you're like, oh, come on?
Well, similar with Jorge Fernandez, it's another example because I remember when they won in team was everyone, oh, next year we go individual and we're going to take over. It's like there, I think is just a good example that even now he's trying since like 2 or 3 years. He's trying to get back to the games, and now he finally made it again with the same weird competition. Leahy made it, and he shows up and he's just like constant, like not great, like this is just where you see that. And I think it's good for people to see that the difference between team and individual is just a different world.
Have you heard rumors about like Invictus juicing having like fucking
No, I
Tour de
haven't heard
France
it.
levels of like for years?
Like professional?
Yeah, like professional juicing, all of them.
So,
Not every single Invictus athlete, but like enough to make it a trend, to make it like a professional thing.
But which generation are we talking? Are we talking Lauren Fisher generation already? Are we talking who was after Lauren Fisher?
Like
what?
that team and a couple of years previous to that team.
So like Sam Dancer, like
yeah, they've had a few positives. Chantel Lohner, she was popped with Soviet era juice.
It's probably just she kissed the wrong. She kissed a Russian guy probably.
Wasn't there an American girl who sucked a dick or something, and that was or had sex or something, and then she wasn't there something like that? She had a high testosterone level.
I don't know that.
I swear like something like that.
Yeah, it could be. I know one.
They've had several team athletes go positive. I don't know. I've heard a lot of rumors that like, potentially.
Oh yeah, Chandler Smith, right? He's a Invictus. So you saying that he was a part of?
I'm not saying every athlete that ever went to Invictus juiced. I'm just saying that I've heard rumors of there being.
But how? Let's put it between 1 and 10. How much you believe in these rumors, or how accurate?
That sex thing is a true story. Look, true story.
Okay.
How much? What? Sorry.
How much do you think that's like? How much you believe it? Just tell me between 1 and 10. How much you think?
Like 7.5.
Oh wow, that's pretty high.
Yeah,
Emily Abbott. I remember that story.
Yeah, I don't know. Just would like, okay, so you look at Jorge Fernandez, and he was an incredibly strong team athlete, like ridiculously strong. Like,
yeah, great team athlete, and they won the games.
Some Olympic lift or squat or whatever, he was probably going to do really well, and it maybe set a record at it. And then he left Invictus and he went on his own for a little while, and then he went to Mayhem.
I think he went directly to Mayhem, no?
I don't know. He's going around with Brittany Weiss for a while, wasn't he?
Well, yeah. Well, they had some things with the sisters there. I heard, but
why? What happened with the sisters?
I don't know about that. I'm not going to go into.
I wonder if we've heard the same rumors.
Well,
different kind of juicing. But like,
but then he moved pretty quick to Mayhem.
Should he not have won that squad event then? He's a strong specialist on a team, and then he leaves the team and goes to Mayhem. Should he not have won that strong event, like the squad?
Like I said, I don't know. Like if they say, okay, we need to, like, I also believe just because you have been one strong and they, let's say for the last 2-3 years, they switched their training and he went from doing a lot of strength stuff, what he might have done before, he was going more to like doing a lot of endurance and more cardio based stuff. Of course, you lose strength. So I would not say this is a point that he was on drugs before and not anymore. I think it's just like shifting training, like.
Yeah. Or he cycled
That's
off, one or the other.
huh? Yeah, like
he-
of course, but for me, like I would not say that. Like I said, I think people for me then.
Team stuck fine, whatever, but he was crazy strong when he's on a team, is my point. Like crazy
You
strong.
see, I don't even can remember that too much. But
Here's a sentence I never thought I'd read out. There was an oral semen consumption that led to a positive test. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. That wasn't Jorge Fernandez and either of the Vice sisters, but there was one somewhere. I think it was at Invictus, maybe. Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't want to judge that because I don't know what's going on in his. Sorry?
I said someday that story about the sisters will come out.
Yeah, again, like what my point was that I don't want to judge if I don't know enough what they train or what they changed in their training and stuff. So I don't know. That's yeah. Like I said, for me it was more to see that I remember when they won the games. Like even what was the other guy on the team?
Joshua Chama.
Yeah, they were all screaming, "Oh, next year we go individual," and they were acting like, "Oh my god, we should be scared of him." And then, like I said, they weren't that great.
Who do you think of the men's field? Who do you think is the most likely to be on the juice?
Oh man, you asking a lot of juice questions today.
I know. I'm just kind of hung up on it now today. I don't know why.
I actually don't know. I don't think like there's
Nick
no
Matthew, maybe?
like I said. I have
Nick Matthew, maybe.
I don't know him. Like he's always been like I said. I have for juice. I have a few like red flags. Like when someone comes out of like or has been on the scene and then at some point he has a huge performance increase. Or if someone just from the looks, like I said, the thing is, I need to admit that even in my first year, a lot of people said I was on drugs, and I can totally see why. Because again, I came to the games, I came into
You're
the
yoked.
Huh?
You're yoked, first of all.
Yes, yoked. No, I came into the sport back then, and I had my first year open semifinal games. And I know even like some athletes from Switzerland back then, they said behind my back that this is not, that cannot be, that this can happen, and this is
who do you know anyone who specifically who is saying it?
Well, back then we were three gay Swiss athletes. It was me, Esslinger, and Jonas Müller, and one of those two said that. So
did you ever confront them about it?
Oh yeah, of course. I confront everyone if someone says that. Like I want to know. Especially he was back then not a friend of mine, but we knew each other.
Yeah.
So I always confront people, and like I said, I can see that I this was a red flag for a lot of people. Back then, I think I was always a bit lighter as well, so I was not as big. I was pretty lean back then. But again, like the fact that I put my snatch in 3 months from 110 to 130. It sounds crazy. Like even if you would tell me that about another athlete, I would be like, well, it's a red flag. Yeah, I know I have never been on it. And if you have been here and see me training, and like I said, the way everything like just put together and my genetics as well, like I'm fine. Like I said, I'm fine. I know in some pictures I look at myself and think like, holy shit, I look fucking, it looks a bit crazy sometimes. I totally get that.
Then you have a quick wank and get over it.
Yeah. No. So again, I have red flags about like when I see athletes. Like I said, one is the fast performance go up, or like I said, and body change. You can also see it. So there is a few red flags for me, but then again, I also don't want to walk around and say, "Oh, you on drugs and you on drugs and you on drugs." Like that's also not my job.
What do you think is the most common? I don't think nobody can really take like what the average layperson would think of as steroids in CrossFit, really, can they? Like you just get caught. Is it not? Are people not doing like fucking, what do you call that? Like EPO and that kind of stuff?
Okay, sorry, I didn't understand the question.
So like the classic like fucking trend or whatever that people think of when they think of steroids. Like there's nobody really on that, is there? They're more so on like EPO and all that kind of stuff.
Well, like I said, I don't. Well, apparently not, because people still. Well, that's the interesting thing. We haven't caught really many people at the moment, or compared to like I remember like 18 regionals. I think we had like 30 people getting caught for like drugs and stuff. So that's the question. I don't believe these people have stopped. I always said, like, I always believed most of, like, the biggest field of the games athlete is clean. And I always thought the problem with drugs is in that, like, semi-final range athletes. That's the problem, or that's where you have a lot of drug people, because they feel like, okay, they tell themselves, oh, the top is taking it anyway, the best people, so I can take it as well. So
What the fuck is
yeah,
Winstrol? What's that?
I don't know.
How does
some
Johnny
kind
know
of-
so many so many drugs? What does Winstrol do, Johnny?
So I think, yeah, like I said, I always believed most people at the games were not on drugs. But
Does one person test positive every year at the games from the elites, or just across the whole field, including the games? I don't think anybody has tested positive at the games since
Ricky, right?
Ricky, I think. A couple of people at semi-finals.
Like I said, I remember 18. 18, we had like a list of 40, I think. I think fucking popped. 18 was crazy. I think 18 was the first year they didn't just test the top 5, they also tested random. And that, yeah, I remember that was fun. And it was actually funny. I'm never gonna forget that. So 18 was in Berlin, and then they did the briefing, and then they said this, actually this year we also gonna test out, like, not just the top 5, we're gonna test random. And then they like, so for now we want to
like random.
yeah.
You.
And then no, it was so funny. And then we had and then they were said, so please, we need the athletes, and they had a list, and he was like, the list was all the suspicious athletes, and also I wasn't on it as well. So it was like literally all the 2 of the 3 Russians, who both of them actually got popped in 18. There was Ganin, and
So
then
they were
other
right.
guy.
Their suspicions were confirmed.
Some of them, yeah. Like I think it was a guy from, I don't know, like the East as well. Maybe it was an Italian guy on it, and it was me, something like that. And
I remember someone telling me, who told me? Someone who works for seminar staff, or worked for seminar staff, and it was their job at the regionals and the games, whatever, to pick the random people for the drug testing. And it was like, just randomly select people, whatever. And the guy was like, okay. He was like, he'd watch like the people walking around, and he'd be like, well, he's getting tested. And like, just purely based off like the size of their delts, whatever, back knee, whatever was going on. He was just like, you've been selected for a random drug test. It's like purely based on what you look like.
Yeah, but no, like
funny.
I would do the same. But it was so funny. Like I said, in 18, there was this one Russian guy. I've never seen him. He just qualified to semis, to regionals, and he showed up, and everyone was like, he looked like he was ready to go on stage. He was like probably 105 kilos, super lean, like his shoulders were like my head, and everyone was like this. And then they called him directly on Thursday on the briefing, and everyone was like relieved and was like, okay, at least they test him, that's good. And then surprise, he got banned. But yeah, it was fun.
I can see them here. Hang on, Andrew Gannon or something, is it?
No, he was not. He was not so, like, everyone kind of knew that he was on drugs, but he was not a big guy. But can you check the
Ganna?
Yes. So I don't know if he still has Instagram. If he still has Instagram, go and check out his Instagram, guys. Because and then scroll back to like 218, or even probably now he's still massive. But he was a hell of a dude, man. Yes.
He looks like Klokov.
Oh yeah, he was massive.
That's pretty funny. I don't think he's on Instagram. Oh, I think I found him. Oh, it's gonna make me log in or something. Whoa, okay.
Yeah, but he was even bigger. He looks small now. No, he's small now. Okay. I don't know if he still has posts from like 218, but this is small now. He was.
I don't think I
much,
can go
much
down
bigger
without
than this.
logging in.
Okay, yeah. No. You have to scroll. Like after the show, go and scroll down. It's fucking hilarious.
Instagram is such a bitch. All right. Okay,
Who do you think is on drugs? Okay, let me turn around. Who do you think? Have you watched someone over the weekend and thought, okay, this is like suspicious?
No, no, and I don't even think I'm educated enough in it to pick someone out, to be honest. Like, I think
Well, I don't think there's education for that, but
Well, there is. I mean, like Hiller he's fairly good at like identifying people. He gets it wrong sometimes, but he's fairly good in general. I think like my suspicion, like you say, my suspicion would either be on someone who like rockets out of nowhere and like qualifies the games for the first time and finishes like, third, like Ricky, or qualifies the game first time and finishes like top 10. You're like, who the fuck is this guy? Or my suspicions would lie, especially if they're from South America, with someone who's in the bottom 5 or 6. But I don't think maybe they wouldn't test positive now, but maybe if you got them like a few months ago, maybe they would have tested positive.
well,
And maybe
this is
that's
what-
why they're in the bottom 2 or 3 at the games.
this is what they say in every, like, in general. If you get positive during a competition, you literally failed like a dummy test. Like,
What do you mean?
Like,
Oh,
then
like
you're
if you
just
actually get
so
caught,
stupid.
yeah.
If you get caught in a competition, then I'm sorry, you're just so stupid. That's why, they should test much more out of competition and stuff like this. But
Johnny says he actually knows the fucking official name for it. Loads of athletes have popped for it. Keep up, people. And they said check the failed list for 2022, 2023. Yeah, I don't know. Like I didn't read. I don't know. I don't know if any of these people would test positive now, but historically, my money would have been on Nick Matthew, Jorge Fernandez, and then basically anybody from South America.
But Nick Matthew, he came from from powerlifting, right?
Yeah, but he did really well, and then he bombed, and then he came back again, and it's kind of like, what happened?
No,
Like,
so
why is there such a steep fall off and then come back up?
no,
Do you
but
know
what
I mean?
could it be there as well? Let's say doing his, I don't know, but maybe he's doing his power lifting career. He was on drugs, and like drugs, that's the thing. Drugs, it's the same. What the argument was with Ricky. Like, once you took drugs, your body will always profit from it. If you have been once that strong, let's say you take drugs and you can squat 600 pounds, even if you go off drugs, even a year or two after, you still can maybe not squat 600, but you still can squat probably like around 550, or 530. Yeah. So that's the problem with drugs. It's not just like, okay, when you have taken them, it's like also, what did you do before, right?
Yeah, that's some people's issue with Ricky, isn't it? That it's like he had the benefit of being on drugs. So even if he's not on them now, even if he feels bad and he's never been on them since, he still at one point built up fitness because of it.
But that's the argue with all drug people coming back to sport. That's in every, like, that problem we have in any sport as well. So yeah, I agree to it, but again, this is what we have in sport in general. If you don't want to do that, then you need to start to ban people for life.
Why can I not see this? Oh, I'm not sharing it. That would probably explain it. Who, removing maybe Jason, who impressed you the most? I'm assuming he impressed you the most by winning the whole fucking thing, but like removing him, who is there anyone in the men's side that you're like, they actually surpassed all my expectations?
Jay, I think Jay.
Yeah.
Even finishing 6th, but it was really good to watch him, and he did.
Jay Crouch.
Jay Crouch. No, definitely, yeah, Jay.
Yeah, he was really impressive, to be fair. And he didn't look like, it's unfortunate, I think, that the back squat followed him wearing the leader's jersey, because I think he could have kept it for a little while. Do you know what I mean? Like he's didn't seem to weigh him down too much. Like he looked comfortable with it. I thought James was really good. I was really impressed with him, because so many people were like, oh, he shouldn't have won it. He didn't deserve, like, no way, like, definitely not the fittest. Like, how the fuck did he win? And then it's like, okay, well, he was a point out, like, he almost finished second the second year, and he ended up finishing on the podium like a point behind Ricky. So I thought he was like crazy impressive.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, what disappointed me, like I said, the most was probably Adler and Krennikov. But like I said, both I will take him, like, disappointed in a way. I believe Adler, like I said, if I go to what I have heard, he didn't have the best preparation. And I believe, again, you cannot compete with the best if you're like having some injuries or having had the best preparation. So I put it on that. And I think Krennikov, I think he got a bit a victim that he didn't have the proper games events. Like, I think he was missing some sandbag. He was missing some like more like odd object or random stuff or like longer stuff. I think that's why I always thought he was amazing at the games, because he always shined in those events, where this year was so much pure CrossFit. And
Yeah, but would it not, like the regionals and stuff? Like he was always winning those regionals and then not going, and they would have been pure CrossFit, with like purer CrossFit than the odd object stuff, wouldn't they?
yeah, but he won it in Russia. He won the one
No, he
218.
won in Europe,
Yeah,
didn't he? And he couldn't qualify.
yeah,
He couldn't
218
go.
in Europe. But beside
Yeah.
that, how did he qualify in 19? He probably qualified through the Open, or he won one of the sanctionals.
Yeah, I thought he did Europe twice. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he did like
no, because there was no no
oh, yeah,
Russia. They cut it away then.
afterwards. Yeah. Do you think are they just washed? Are him and Jeff just like getting old?
No, I don't think so. I think
Okay.
they will. Like I said, I think Jeff just needs, like, if there's an injury, he needs to get healthy. Krennikov also comes from an injury. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I would not say they're washed at all. No.
Right. Women. We'll do the same again. We'll skirt down to. We'll go upwards from the Euro women, I guess.
I just wanted to give Lucy shit. No.
She's probably gone. She probably got pissed off and left. So Jen were 20th, qualified through online semi-finals because Lucy McGonigal qualified through French Throwdown. So thus gave Jen her space. Finishing like top 20 after that sort of qualification process is good, isn't it?
Yes.
Like she was very, very mid of the pack last year at semi-finals in French Throwdown.
Yeah.
Like oh, okay. So like to finish top 20 is pretty good.
Especially, like, I don't know her as much, but she did third place in a squat event, so she's a strong athlete, right?
Yeah, she's
and she qualified out of the online semifinals. What we just had a discussion before, there was not very like a lot of strong stuff, or like not heavy stuff in it. So I think that's good. She's young. I just don't really understand her when she talks. But then also what I need to say, like, those last, I don't know, like those last 5, even 6, 7 girls, like, like I think with the games at the guys' side, I think, of course, there were some people maybe missing where you could argue, but I think not as bad as a woman. If you like just take these 5, 6 spots at the end and you replace them with like Emma Lawson, Migala, especially Gazan, so there is just a few athletes. If you take them out and you put the other ones in, I think you would make the whole top leaderboard more interesting. And I think there's just some people they should, like said, similar what we said at the males field. They are not ready for the games yet, or they should not be at the games.
Do you think Laura Horvath will ever do the games again?
I really fucking don't care about her. Like, I don't know what she does. I don't think so. But I just like, I don't know. Like, she's not even, she has one job to do this year as a World Fitness Project, and you saw what happened in the first one. So, I don't know.
Okay. Claudia Luck.
Yeah, Claudia as well. She just has a bit too much up and down. She's just in some stuff really good, but then she has also in some stuff some big holes. I think if she is similar than like Colin and Enrico, I think if she can fix some of those holes, she could have evenly probably like finished top 10 this year already, right?
There's a thing. I'd like boohoo the pegboards or whatever, but like you look at, say, Lucy McGonigal, Claudia Luck, and Tia Toomey are probably the 3 people you would expect to do the best at that pegboard thing. And Lucy came like second to last. Tia came like very middle of the pack. And then Claudia's one, it obviously, whatever lane she was in, paid off. Like so if it's basically gymnastics or pulling, Claudia's going to do well, which she proved, like 6th, 8th. Do you know what I mean? It's the other stuff similar to what you're talking about. Okay, she's pretty strong back squat, but like it's the running, that kind of stuff that she needs to work on basically. But is that easier to build than the other stuff, like the gymnastics capacity and the, like, has she got a brighter future, say, than someone who struggles big time in strength?
I don't know. Like I said, I think it's the way you do things. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't want to judge that. I believe everything is fixable. If you do it the right way, if you do it yeah, if you know what you do as a coach or as an athlete, I think everything is fixable. So
Okay.
yeah.
What about Lucy McGonigal then, 11th? Similar to
She
Harry,
super
like
impressed me.
pissed off
She's
that she dropped out of the top 10, but
Yeah, I
should
can
be happy
imagine. But
really.
yeah, she's someone definitely to look out. And like I said, she's 18. No, she's really surprised me, and I think she's on a big future out of Europe, but also like for the games as well. No, she has it together for sure. Like if you finish in your rookie year at the games with 18, 11th, of course it's not like a Mallory O'Brien, but we also saw what happened to Mallory. So I think if she finds a way to do it healthy and good, I think, and keeps doing what she's doing, and I think with Tia there, that was probably amazing to watch as an 18-year-old girl to train and have your first games prep with someone like Tia. I think that's, like I said, I still, again, I don't like, yeah, well, I do it today a lot, but it helped me a lot building up to my first year in 2016, being able, had a chance to train with BK, to train with Sarah, to train with Bricks. It just gives you so many small things to just look how they do things, and the way they do it, and the way they push it, the way they train, the way they handle themselves after training. And that's just so big of an advantage if you can learn that. And then especially if you can learn that from like a Tia, I think she's definitely, yeah, she's definitely like, yeah, she probably, you would have asked me who impressed me the most. I would say Lucy Campbell, and then I would say Lucy McGonigal.
In both divisions or just the female division?
Yeah, in both divisions probably.
Oh,
And the
okay.
males was not too many surprises. Like I said, the biggest surprise was Jay Crouch, but we still knew that Jay Crouch probably gonna finish somewhere in the top 10 plus
Yeah,
minus,
fair.
you know. So it was not
Um,
like coming from nowhere. But with Lucy McGonigal, we didn't know at all. And yes, with Lucy Campbell, of course, we know that she did already very well. I hope she's still listening to this.
She's probably not. She probably got pissed
uh,
off after the back squat and left.
Pussy. That I think she did it all well, but again, we know the games is a different beast, and she mastered it perfectly.
Lucy she's at Proven for a month, McGonigal. And
Yeah.
it was funny. I asked her afterwards, I was like, how did this rate compared to like the teenage games, like mentally and physically? Like, is it more demanding? Is it the same? Is it whatever? And she was like, oh, it's probably about the same, but it's, as in, like, I suppose her capacity has increased, so it's taking a similar toll on her body, but just everything's harder, but it's still a similar toll. But she was like, nothing will be as hard as Sunday and Proven. So she's like, the games prep sounds like it was pretty intense, but it's cool, I think, for her that she's training with and competing with Tia when she's at this stage of her career, because she gets the benefit of, I feel like if she was there maybe 3 or 4 years ago,
Yeah,
that Tia would have been like, get fucked, sort yourself out. Like, this is, like, blinkers on.
I could actually probably see that maybe Tia would have tried to destroy people in training.
Oh, like prior to now,
Yeah,
like, yeah.
to destroy.
Whereas,
I think
like,
I heard Matt saying that many times. Like he was like, if I can kill them in training, and I know they're going to be fucked, I'm like, let's go for it,
But yeah, like watching Tia in the back with Lucy, with Grace Walton, like, asking, how you feeling, and have you thought about this, and coming in from her workout and like giving tips to the boys because they were after of saying, oh, you need to do this and this, and I noticed that this is happening a lot of people, and like stuff like that. It was just pretty cool to watch. Like,
yeah, and it just gives you
Lucy's
so
gonna
much
benefit from
confidence
that.
as well, right? Like as
Yeah, I
an
mean, if you're
athlete,
hearing that from
especially that
Tia,
young.
yeah.
No, but I think
Amy Kringle, 8th.
I had
Pretty good
her
showing.
but that was probably because of how the events laid out. But I was like, holy shit, she's going to finish on the podium.
Yeah, it did look like it for a while.
Yeah. And
She
it
just
would have
suffered
been,
like the back end, basically, like 16th and 27th just hit her really hard.
yeah. No, like,
another
then, yeah.
another bright future though, Amy, right?
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, she has what she has. She has the full package, right? She looks good. She is good. I saw somewhere, I think on the live stream when I was watching, a comment, and it was like, "Hey, if Amy Kringle podiums this weekend, I think she's gonna blow off."
She's gonna what?
Like, you're not.
Yeah, like it'd be huge if she had podium. It would have been like massive for CrossFit, especially in like Europe. I think just because of like she's been on the front of all these magazines and all that kind of shit, and she's with Gymshark, and it's a whole different audience that she's speaking to. So like for that side of CrossFit, it would have been really good. I think.
No, what I mean more was like more for her personally. I think she would have taken off. And like I think
she
would
already
have
has a
probably,
massive following though.
yeah, like I think around 200 or something. But I
Yeah.
think, like I said, I think she could have, like I said, she has a good package, especially also for sponsors and things like this.
Great package. Miriam
Yeah.
von Rohr. How do you say her first name?
Miriam.
Okay, Miriam.
Okay, I have to say,
That's a huge shock.
Yeah, okay, I have to actually
She's in with the other two girls, is she?
Yes, she impressed me as much as Lucy Campbell and Lucy McGonigal.
I mean, she had that what did I call it? A cramp issue at French Throwdown, minor cramps. I actually looked that up. I can't remember whose post I commented that on, but part of a seizure is cramping. So technically, I was right. But it's pretty crazy. Like I think we did we talk about her after that, and we were kind of like, how do you go into an event like that when that's a possibility to happen and not like prepare for it, or
I remember we talked about it.
Concern yourself about it. So I think that was my main concern, was like, right, is she going to get to like fucking climbing couplet and just be like lying on the floor or whatever? So it's pretty good. I can't believe I just did an impression of someone having a seizure. It's pretty good that she really, really held her own. Rookie of the year as well.
Yeah, like what? And the thing is, like, even if you watch her, how she moves, like if you saw her descending on those rope climbs, I was like, oh my God, you have so much more potential. Like, I feel like she has finished 7th. Of course, again, like it might look like it, I think always events matters as well. So I think she has a few holes, I know, where she really needs to work on as well, where she was lucky they didn't got this displayed, for example. But I think I think ring muscle ups is one of them. Things like this. So she can be very happy that I think she was happy. Like the back squat was amazing for her. She's still in general a strong athlete, but if it would have been a snatch, it would have been different. She would not have won a snatch event, right? So I think she was good, lucky with the programming, but I don't want to put it on a program. She still executed very well. But again, my point is she has so much more potential. Like she could literally be on a level like Kawa Webb, like similar build, similar strength. If she now really works for 1 year and tries to fix the few holes she has and getting much more efficient in the things she's already fine in, like I said, like declining from a rope climb, like a few certain things, I think she can have and she's still young, and I think she can have an amazing future in the sport. Like I don't see why she would not finish on the podium.
Amy and Gracie are missing something between the ears. Mindset. Lucy M is too young to know what she doesn't know, which will help her. No, I think you might be right about the first part. I don't know, but you're definitely wrong about the second part. Having spoken to her, it's like talking to Tia when you talk to Lucy. Like it's insane when you talk to her how grounded she is and how much she understands all the pitfalls of what she's doing, all the mistakes she could make, the things that she's avoided doing. I think could be right about the first part. I don't really know, but you're definitely wrong about Lucy lacking in mindset or ignorance being her weapon. I don't think she's ignorant to anything that she's doing. I haven't spent a bit of time with her. All right. Next highest girl, Lucy Campbell. That was fucking nuts, that performance. That's the whole, like, that's the story of the games for me. That performance was insane.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I think she made it interesting, right? Like at the end, she didn't make it interesting because Tia won by how many points did she win?
Like 180.
So she won literally like, yeah, wouldn't have had done the last event. She would still have won the games. But
Yeah, but someone wore a fucking leader jersey that wasn't Tia. Like, that was pretty
no,
crazy.
100%. And like I said, but this is just crazy to think we are at the point that if someone beats Tia, we get so excited in one event.
Yeah.
Like the deadlift event, I fucking love. I think everyone, like, I think it's not just me, like everyone loved that amazing execution, of course, of Lucy. But this was just afterwards, we were like, holy shit. But imagine the level of Tia, she still placed third, she still won the games by 180-point margin.
Yeah.
But like I said, Lucy made it exciting because she brought those events, or like this in with like wearing the leader shirt, someone else than Tia, like beating her in some events. We would not we're just nice to see that Tia gets beaten, right? So
I think
no, she was
the crazy thing about me. So like, okay, if you remove the injury and the surgery and the recovery, like if you just take that time out and pretend it didn't happen, and she's at the games, whatever, 2023, and she does well, and she has a couple of rough events and a couple of great events, and she does well overall. And then she just pretend the next bit doesn't happen, and then she goes and wins Marbella. Cool. And then you'd expect her to do that. And then she goes and wins Wadapalooza. It's like, oh shit, this girl's worth like sitting up and taking notice of. She's obviously going to do big things. And then she comes second and wins Wadaland Fest, and then comes second at the games. You're like, wow, that's really impressive. That's really impressive.
Besides that, she did also what did she do? World Fitness Project?
World Fitness Project. I don't know where she came. 5th or 7th.
But
5th or
like
7th.
High up. I think
Yeah,
that was also what really impressed me as well.
But you've removed huge fucking trauma. Like, that's already a great story, and it's a great 2-year span of performance. But you have to take, like, it becomes a movie when you include the injury, the trauma, the recovery, the refusals, the rejection, the despair, like everything else, and the really fucking slow comeback, and then doing zombie cleans because it's not worth like putting that much pressure on it, and slowly adding in movements. Like, I remember at Marbella, I think there was a ring muscle up workout at Marbella, and she was like, oh, I only started doing them like last week or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking nuts when you think about the recovery that she's had. That Marbella was in whatever, September, October last year. And then you come from there to in January winning Wadapalooza, to in August or July, end of July, coming second at the games. Like, that's fucking incredible. Like, I think it was her coach, Cyril, put up a post last, like 3 days ago or something, that was like, after the games in 2023, they were leaving, and Lucy was like, looked at the stadium or looked at the venue or whatever and said, see you next year, right? And Cyril was like, of course. And then look what happened after. Like, but I just think that it's just so incredible that she was able to come back and do the sport, but then to reach like the pinnacle and be up there fighting with Tia for, at least the first half of the weekend was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, no, like I totally agree on everything you said. And I think was, like I said, Lucy is a good example. Don't take anything for granted. You know what I mean? Like I said, she expected in 2022 to come back in 2023. And it took her now like 3 years to come back, and maybe she would have never come back. That was also an option, right? And that was my point in general, that, again, this is the same what I said with Jason. He should enjoy that he won the games, because he doesn't know if he's going to win it again. That's the same in general. Like I said, I experienced myself as well. Like, I had a great start of a career, and then now since then injuries started to happen, and I'm fighting since 3 years with like injuries, right? You never know, as in a career or even in life in general, what happens. So I think always try to enjoy it and don't take it for granted. And like I said, also, like, I think probably, maybe, I don't want to say that, but maybe she would never have finished now second if she would not have gone through all this shit, like, because if you go through shit like this mentally, like a games competition pressure is a totally different thing than maybe you haven't never done that, right? So again, I think there is not a perfect way. Everyone is trying to find their best way to do things, but yeah, like I said, if you just the way you just explained it, it sounds like a movie, and I think no one would have put a bet on Lucy even qualifying maybe to the games last year after or even before my Marbella, right? So no, it is amazing, and this is why sports is amazing, because there we can write stories like this and they can inspire, right?
Yeah, I think that's the thing as well, that like when you look down, like for me, I look down to the games leaderboard and I'm like, okay, who has a cool story? And then it's also like, who has a cool story that could potentially help someone? So you look at James Brigg, who's like a fat kid, and then like transformed himself over time or whatever. Or you could also look at James Brigg as someone who's like completely comfortable with sharing their faith no matter what the pushback they get is. And it's an admirable quality to have. And it's a good example for other people who are looking for that. And then you have someone like Lucy, and it's like you could have members in an affiliate who's, you know, fucking land on a rope and go over on their ankle or something and think, oh, this is so frustrating. Like, what if I blah, blah, blah? And then you can have the owner or the coach be like, look at this girl. And she was literally told like several times, no, we're not going to operate on that. No chance. And then someone took a chance on her. If she can come back then and come second at the games and push Tia for the first, whatever, 2 days, then you can probably get over your little whip on the back of your leg from your double under. So you can probably get over like whatever, you know, your hip replacement or your fucking knee replacement or whatever. I think it's just cool having those type of people at the top of the sport that are like examples of what's possible through CrossFit basically, and through like a strong mental resilience basically. I think it's really cool.
No, I agree. Yeah, just in general about the women's leaderboard, and that was also what I put in my storyboards about like thoughts on the weekend. I think the women's leaderboard is really in a transition phase. Like I said, we have like new people coming on, like young people. Probably will take a few more years to get to like that better level high. We have a lot of people retired, like all the daughters and everything. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see in the next 2-3 years how that women's leaderboard is gonna shape itself.
Yeah, I think the thing is as well, it might like if Tia isn't there, you won't have the tip of the spear, like the very, very tip of the spear might not be as sharp without Tia there, but I think the fight to finish first will be so much tighter.
But look, what was the leaderboard? Like Lucy would still have won quite far over Olivia, no?
Only like 40-ish points. Like not huge, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Still like a lot.
It is a lot, but I'm just saying like it's, you know, and then, you know, it gets tighter. The further down you go, the tighter it gets. And then if you take out all Tia's firsts and the leaderboard shuffles a bit, you know what I mean? It is like, it just will be interesting to see. But yeah,
again,
sorry, go on.
It just blows my, like, beside that, I think we just have to mention how fucking amazing Tia is.
It's crazy.
Like the fact that she has same amount event wins than Fraser and Froning together. That's one thing that blew my mind.
Yeah.
So she has 45, and I think Fraser has like 20 something, and Froning had like 18. So two of the best ever done guys in the sport have the same amount game wins than Tia. And this is 8, and like I said, she didn't had her preparation. She literally did the high, like she said, she just did everything this year to get for those High Rocks World Championship, and then after that she decided, okay, let's go for the games. And for having that time domain and still being that good and dominant, that's just, for me, that's so impressive. And I hope she would go for 10. I don't think she will, but I hope she would do 2 more years.
It'd be cool if she did.
Yeah.
John Young would hate it. It's crazy though when you think about if she's gone, and then you have like say Lucy Campbell, Olivia, Danielle, Ariel, Madeline Stewart.
You're missing Alex Gazan, you know. You're missing like
Alex
Gabby,
Gazan, Gabby McGowan.
You're missing a few people there, like even Emma Lawson. I don't know.
And a fully fit Alexis Raptis, like Emma Lawson back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's going to be it's going to get gnarly next year. It's going to be crazy. Like I'm already. That's the thing. When I left after the games, I was like flicking down through the leaderboard, and I was like looking at the men's leaderboard, thinking, "Holy shit, there's going to be a brawl next year to get first." And then I flicked over to the women's leaderboard, and I was like, "It's going to be the same. Like if Tia's not there, there's going to be just crawling across each other to try and finish first, and there's still people to come back. Like it's nuts. I think the future of the sport's pretty good." What juice story have you got for me?
Yeah. Well, it's a funny one. No, I don't know. It's funny, but it was actually by like not by accident. But yesterday we had on the gym, we had like a summer party, and then we were sitting there, and at some point, this person came. Like somehow I catch the conversation, and I was like, "What?" And then first they didn't want to tell me, and then somehow I got the whole story, and the story is that so I think it was middle of July, around 10-15 July. The program had a elite camp here in Mallorca, and
Okay.
and they were they were renting a place from that person. So that person was gone for holidays, and they rented her place, or John rented the place for two of the athletes. And yeah, and when she came home,
Are you losing confidence in telling the story?
no, not at all. Not, it just blows my mind again when I fucking tell it. And then this person came home from holidays, and apparently she came home and she opened the fridge, and then she saw like a paper, and she could feel, okay, there's something wrong. So she opened the paper, and it was a glass bottle. What said on it? Growth hormones. So.
So
Yeah,
someone rented a house off, holy fuck. So someone rented a house off someone who lives on the island. And when the person who owns the house came back, they opened the fridge. There was an envelope in the fridge, and they were like, "That's weird." Lifted it out, realized there's something in it, opened it, and it was HGR inside the envelope, a vial of steroids, basically.
Yes.
Holy
and there
shit.
were two athletes at her place.
Hang
Now,
on.
are you Googling HGH?
No, I'm seeing who's at that camp. That is insane. How many people are at the camp?
I don't know, like 5, 6.
Oh wow. Okay, so everyone's in this photo then. Let me just see if I can open it up.
Well, I'm gonna tell you I will tell you who it was. Like,
yeah,
don't
I just
worry.
want to see. I just want to see.
So it was.
Wait. I'm bringing up the photos. Then I can.
They always do their team pictures, so they should be all on it.
I got it. Okay, so this guy's why is it so grainy? I was taking with a fucking disposable camera. This guy's a coach. He's German.
Yeah.
I like him. He's cool. That's your girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's Jacqueline Dahlstrom. They both live on the island. It wasn't either them. That's Ella Wagner.
Yeah.
Yeah, she lives on the island. That's that Nico guy that... Oh, shit. Is he with the program? That's the guy at French Throwdown.
Yeah.
That, like, fell apart on the lunges or whatever. Luka Vujnik. He's been with the program for years, hasn't he? Oh, that's a receding hairline. We'll come back to that. I don't know. Who's that guy?
Who?
Oh, he was at French Throwdown this year. What the fuck is his name?
Which one?
This guy.
Jan Finkenberg. He's German.
Yeah. He. I kept making a joke about him. And that's Luka Jukic, and that's John Singleton, the coach. Right. So it sounds like it was a guy. So it's either this guy, these two guys, or this guy. I've seen a picture of this guy without his top on, and he's fucking yoked. Like massive. So either he's been using it for a long time, or he just doesn't need to use it. Flat out doesn't need to use it. Oh, I forgot about him. Right. I don't know. Go on. Who was staying at the house?
Well, it's not going to help your decision. So at the house were staying the two middle guys.
So these two are staying at the house.
Yes.
What do you mean it's not going to help my decision? It narrows it down completely. Now it's 50-50.
Yeah, for sure. Like, but I don't want to bring Jan in there because he was not the guy. So just I finished the story as you understand, because Jan is a massive guy. But I don't
He's
like I said,
huge.
he's massive, but he takes his very seriously, like his nutrition and everything. And then I don't know. I'm just telling what the story, and you will understand the story why Jan should not be dragged into this. I actually wanted to text him and to see. I didn't do it. I was thinking to see if he actually knows something or saw something. But I also assume Jan would be the guy, if he would have seen something or saw something, that he would have said something. Anyway, so what this girl did, of course, she sent a picture to John and was like, "What the fuck is going on? I'm coming home and I'm finding this in my fridge." And she was actually really mad. And
I mean, it's not fucking heroin. Like, okay, well, go on.
No, but honestly, like, she's in the sport as well, so she's also an athlete, not on that high level. But she said, "This made me very sad to see that I opened my home for two athletes, high-level athletes, let them stay at my home, and then I come home and in the fridge I find drugs." What, like I said, that she was more like sad in a way, like I'm losing the hope in those athletes, you know, or in everything, you know.
Yeah.
And that was more what she got sad on. Like I said, yes, it was not that he would like, "Holy shit, I have to buy a new fridge now," or like you said, it was heroin or whatever. But that why she was so sad. And then apparently his John reaction was like, "Holy shit, what the fuck?" And then he sent, and this is like what blows my mind, or like not that now, but the after. So apparently then he sent a screenshot of the picture and sent that to this Nika guy. And his response was, "Oh yeah, this is from my friend."
What friend?
So apparently there was staying another guy with them there at the place, and he was just there for visiting or for holidays. She didn't know about it, but apparently he had a friend over. Now, I saw the friend because he came to the gym. He didn't train. He just watched. I think he had a hangover because they went actually partying the day before. And I saw the friend, and you can even see on his Instagram, he posted some pictures of him as well. The friend looks like he has never touched a dumbbell in his life. Like,
maybe that's why he's taking it.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, of course, and that was the last thing I heard. And what blows my mind is this happened now 2.5 weeks. So I got the story yesterday, but that happened 2.5 weeks. And then yesterday, when I heard the story, I texted the coach who's from the program, who's coaching Nika. He was not on the camp.
Yeah.
And I asked him as like, "Hey, did you hear anything about the camp or anything about Nika from John?" And he said like, "No, nothing." So I told him the story, and he was like, "What the fuck?" He was like blown away. Like, so what blows my mind, or I don't understand, is John gets this information. The only thing he does, the only thing he does is asking the guy, "Hey, is this your drugs?" The guy says, "No, it's of my friend." Like, of course, what do you expect? Do you expect him to say, "Yes, it's mine"? Like, and then apparently the case is done and everything is fine, and we just keep doing what we're doing.
Wow, there's a lot to process there. So his maybe his friend got it from oral. So Nika's friend, this is insane. So Nika and another guy were staying. These two guys, sorry. So these two guys were staying at a house belonging to an athlete not in the photograph, who just is a program athlete but had left the island for whatever. And she was like, "Oh, they can rent my house, cool." She comes back, she opens the fridge, she finds human growth hormone in an envelope, goes, "What the fuck?" Sends a picture of it to John. John responds in a similar way, saying, "What the fuck?" Takes a screenshot of it, sends it to Nico, not the other. Maybe he did send it to both of them. You just don't know, I guess. But he sent it to Nico anyway. Said, "What the fuck is this about?" And Nico goes, "Oh yeah, that's my friends who was staying at the house, but wasn't known to have been staying at the house. But you've seen him, so he was there. You also say that lad does not look like he took anything. And then you texted Nico's coach, who wasn't at the camp, saying, "Have you heard anything?" He said, "No." You told him the story, and it was the first he had heard the story.
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah.
John saw it, showed it to Nico, and then didn't say, or maybe hadn't said it yet. How long? So it was 2 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
Okay.
Two and a half weeks. Like, that's not fresh. Like I said, I would not have told the story if this would have been fresh, because I believe, okay, let's see, like I said, give people the chance to do something about it, or make it whatever. I just think it's very badly handled. Like I said, I just put myself again in his face. What I would have done, I probably would have contacted directly CrossFit and say, "Hey, this is what happened. So if you want to go and test this guy, do it," or whatever. And then the next thing I would have done, like I said, I'm sorry, if we're in a world that naive, like, I don't know, maybe John is a bit naive, because John was also so naive to believe Henrik. I don't know if you remember Henrik. He was a guy from Iceland. He got banned by drugs. Totally crazy guy.
Back and get banned again.
Yeah. So when he got his ban over, John believed him, because Henrik told him, no, I'm not on drugs anymore. I'm clean. John believed him. I'm going to coach you. And I think a few months later, he got banned with drugs again. So I don't know if John is just very naive with this topic, or I have no idea. But apparently he just now, believes this guy that he was from his friend who has never touched a dumbbell before, or never trained, or he looks like he's never trained in his life before, and everything is fine, and we keep going what we're doing. And again, now let's take it this way. Let's go back to the red flags. The Nika guy performed very well, a bit out of nowhere. Like I said, he was all weekend long around in the top 3 at Friends Throwdown, and he only didn't qualify to the games because he messed up the sandbag in that last event.
Do you think he messed up on purpose?
No, because then the coach told me that he still got tested at French. But again, this doesn't say, like I said, also something we talked before. If you get tested at a competition and you know you're in a good shape, and you know they test at the competition, you're not going to show up on positive. And also another thing I learned, or I researched, I actually know that from Hiller, that HGH has a very short detective rate.
Okay.
So again, but what I assume when I heard the story, my reaction was like, okay, this guy was probably before on it, took it down for French, and now after French was like off-season mode, because he doesn't has really competitions at the moment coming up. So he's in his off-season. Let's juice up until maybe, I don't know, the next competition he does, and then takes it away again.
What would HGR do for him? Just make him stronger?
Yeah, stronger, recovery, a bit everything. Yeah, like I said, I for that I'm not a specialist to tell you what a drug exactly do, but yeah.
I want to give you a chance to respond to this. I don't understand why Adrian is so entitled and even calling himself one of the best athletes in the world. He hasn't qualified for the games in a while. And when he did qualify, 34th, 16th, 8th, 35th. So nothing extraordinary, except for the year when he was lucky and finished 8th. So why, if he was lucky when he finished 8th, why are you not considering the other ones unlucky? But okay. And then someone said, if you make it to the games, Jack said, if you make it to the games or even semi-finals, one of the best in the world. And then he said, not according to Adrian then, as the athletes he believes shouldn't be at the games also are. But that's a different qualifying system. I think that's his point, that regional was a more cohesive qualifying system. Also, if you watch any, I'll give you a chance to respond in a second, but if you watch any soccer punditry, the pundits are very rarely one of the top 20 players in the world. Like Mika Richards is a pundit, and he was like all right. You know, if you watch any, like Jamie Redknapp was a pundit for like 20 years. I don't think anybody actually thought he was one of the best players in the world. Like, you're not going to have just Ballon d'Or winners lining up to be pundits on football shows, just as an example. So I think, like, I mean, I comment on CrossFit Fucking hell. Right, Adrian, go on. Do you want to respond to any of that?
Well, I don't want to go too mad. Like, not even, it doesn't make me mad at all. Like, first of all, you need to understand I don't know how long he knows CrossFit, but in 2016, 17, 18, you had to be top 5 out of Europe to qualify to the games. Top 5, not top 10 or top 11 or top 12. It was one competition, one's regionals, and you had to be top 5. So alone to qualify out of Europe, you had to be pretty okay athlete, I would say. Then the placement as well, the 34th placement was my first year at the games. Like I said, I got totally kicked my ass. But then in a time domain of 2 years, I cut that by half. And that was my point, what I had with Moritz, that he literally just stuck around at the same place. And then the next year, I cut it by half. So if you say 2019 was lucky, I actually believe it was the least luckiest year, because all the athletes, all the top athletes in the sport back then were at the games. Like, no one was missing out at the games, and I finished 8th. If you call it lucky, I'm totally fine with that. I take that 8th place if you're lucky. And the 35th place in 2021, I dropped out because, I mentioned even in this podcast, I was injured. And since then, I'm fighting with it. Now, I don't even need to say if I was a good athlete or not. Like I said, if you want to know about me, just check out what Fraser said about me many times, who he was thinking, who could have done one of the best athletes in the sport. So if you question his mark, and that's, like I said, it's not even coming from me, then
I think I just worked out who this guy is.
Yeah,
with this comment. I'm an affiliate box owner since 2009, so I know the story of the games very well. I think we've talked about this guy before.
So probably he just has a problem with me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know.
Yeah. So that's I have totally fine with that, and I really don't care.
Yeah, but imagine trying to discredit someone who's been 8th fittest man in the world. Yeah. It's also, I think like that's like John Young is one of the best analysts in the sport, and he's like not particularly good at CrossFit. You know, I don't think, I think it's crazy to think that. So in this guy's world, only Matt Fraser, Rich Froning, or Tia Toomey could ever comment on another athlete's performance because they're the only ones that would potentially beat them. So everybody else has to just shut the fuck up and say they're really impressive to every single athlete ever. So if the guy that finishes 30th at the games this year, you have to be like, yeah, really good, much better than I am. And then just like move on. And it's only the guy in 29th and above can comment on the guy in 30th, and 28th and above can comment on the guy in 29th. What a fucking dumb
But
take.
even if this guy is around since 2009, then he should know, if he followed me as an athlete, that I have always been an outspoken athlete, and I always have said what I was thinking about things. Like I have done, like when I was thinking about drugs or whatever, I was thinking about CrossFit HQ or whatever, I always made my comment to something. And I was always very outspoken because I never really cared what people were thinking about it or not. So yeah.
33rd of the 2010 CrossFit Games, pundit and commentator. Yeah, I think, I mean, the reason, like the fact you're outspoken is why you're here. Where's Johnny's comment? Where the fuck is it? Adrian gives no fucks, and I love it. The crazy thing, like, as you were telling that story in my head, I was like, is this actually happening? Does he know we're still live? I love it. What do you think is going to happen there then? Have you said it? Did you talk to John about it or no?
No, he's actually not here. They left. They went for holidays. But I'm honestly not to say that I'm close to John anymore or anything like that. So, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's I don't know. Like, it's not my job to make anything. It's just my job. If I hear stories like this, I feel like I want to make this public because I think people should like know that. And I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Then, like, is it possible for CrossFit to be actually able to stand over the sport and say this is a clean sport? If that's all you have to do is just like take stuff from, just don't compete from August until February, and just go on whatever you like, provided it has a short half-life or whatever, and then just stop in February and hopefully don't like cycle it if like properly so that you don't destroy yourself when you come off it and like get
Well,
sick or
literally,
whatever.
you could take it until semifinals because as long as you're not going to win, I don't even think if you win the Open, they come and test you. I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe they. I can remember if they did actually with Colton. I can remember if they came and test you. But again, if you're not going to win the Open or not doing top 10 in the Open and you're just going to qualify, you probably could choose until like semifinals. And if they're not, yeah. This is actually a good point because normally they had to test all the athletes, like, so always when you had qualified to the games you had to be tested, right? So
Yeah.
even in 2021 when we had online semifinals, they still send someone to your home and you had to get tested. So but I haven't heard, so I wonder if all the people from the online semifinals actually got tested. I haven't know, like I assume so, but I actually haven't heard about that.
I think at the games it was the top heat.
Okay.
So like the 10 that it finished inside the top, that took part in that. So even well, maybe they took, well, it didn't matter, I guess, because Lucy finished in the, so I think the top 10 finished the top 10. But I wondered, did they take, you know, it actually didn't matter because it didn't happen in the men's side either. I was just going to say, I wonder would they take 11 if they moved up and down. But yeah, I think it was just whoever took the floor in the top 10 got tested. And then I'd guess at semifinals, it was probably whoever qualified in person.
Yeah. No, normally it's
So
like this, yeah. But
yeah, I don't know if
again,
they bother sending to
just what we're
everywhere.
saying about the testing system, like even back in 2000, Lance Armstrong was saying, I was clean doing the tour. Like during the tour itself, at the end, they were clean because they know they get tested so much. But the problem was the rest of the year, he wasn't clean, right? And again, here, if you get tested positive at the games, you just literally failed the dummy test. So again, if CrossFit wants to say that we are a clean sport, they need to test during the year much more, and especially like not, I don't know, not telling the athletes 24 hours before that they're coming the next day. That's not how you test. And but then again, another problem CrossFit has,
Oh, I'm still here. Sorry, my camera just died because we've been on for like 4 hours.
Yeah. Okay, let's just finish this. No, the point is as well for oh, that's a nice ankle. I forgot my point. No, the point is with CrossFit, you could even say, okay, I'm going to go train for 2 years. I'm going to go on juice and then I'm going to show up and compete, you know, like no one tested you before. I think CrossFit there is just probably I think CrossFit is the easiest sport to take drugs, if you ask me this way.
Well, World Fitness Project is easier because they just change the rules if you pop.
Yeah, they support you.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. We got it. Wow. Okay. So 2 hours, 10 minutes. We've talked about the male field, the female field, the Europeans, the general recap, our positivity towards the games, drug testing.
We talk a lot of drugs.
Potential drug athletes, and then a crazy story to round it off. It's just, yeah, that's fucking.
What do you think? What would you like? I don't know. Like I said, if let's say this way, if I would have been John, I would have called CrossFit, explained the case before I would even have addressed. Yeah, no, like, well, he has to address the athlete first.
At the very least, I would have like said it to the coach. I probably would have. It's hard when the coach wasn't there. Yeah, I probably would have said it to the athlete first. I would have said it to both guys. I probably would have FaceTimed or something over sending a picture of it. And I would have just said like, hey, what the fuck is this? And then, yeah, I probably would have said it to the coach. Like, this is what happened. This happened. This happened. This happened. Here's what he said. What do you think? It is unusual that the coach didn't like know about it when you told him. I'd be interested to see what the coach thinks now. Like, did he talk to Nico since? But I don't know about what I call CrossFit. If I thought I saw something but they denied it and I believed them, would I still call CrossFit? Like, yeah, probably. But I at very least would have talked to the coach. Like at minimum.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just what for me was weird was that he kept everything by himself, like you just said. That is just
Unless, like, the
very
only thing
weird.
is, unless there has been a conversation, not with that coach, but unless there has been a conversation that we don't know about, like where, you know, I don't know. So they, him and what's the German guy's name?
Jan.
Jan. Yeah, if they spoke to each other and said, "Oh, well, actually, yeah, that rings true," because you know what I mean. Like maybe there is something that we don't actually know about. Like I don't know what could have actually possibly happened to have that be a satisfactory resolution to it, but you know, who knows? Pretty easy to get it in the Balkans. Patrick Clark says, "Patrick, we don't fucking talk about the Balkans on this show. We're not allowed to talk about the Balkans on this show." Yeah, it's pretty. That is an absolutely
But
fucking insane story.
no, but again, just what like we can see what he says with his dad is like the red flags. He went to French, did exceptionally well, comes from a country where drugs is probably like candy store. And then his only answer was like, "It's from my friend," and the friend doesn't look like has ever touched a dumbbell. Like, I feel like there is just so many red flags, in my opinion. If you ask
Yeah.
me, like, you have to be very naive to believe that. At least that's what I would say.
I'm sure this will turn up on a video somewhere and he can answer
Yeah.
for it himself anyway. All right. Thanks, Adrian. 2 hours and 15 minutes. My wife's going to think I fucking fell asleep out here.
It's a new record. But we
Yeah,
haven't
I
talked for a
appreciate
while, so
I know we have a lot to catch up on. I appreciate you coming on. What's next? The crash qualifiers come out on Wednesday. We might do a show maybe going over them next week for the crack.
yeah.
Why not? Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. If you made it through 2.5 hours or 2 hours 15 minutes, you got a nice little story at the end at least. What day is today? Monday. Tuesday. Oh, I have Coach L and Matt Torres are coming on the show this week. At some point. I think
Are you going to address the Daniel Brandon?
Thursday. Yeah, like maybe at the end of the show. Thursday. And then I think Lucy Campbell's coming on Saturday. And there's someone else coming on Thursday or Friday. Anyway, that's it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.